Hello guys, welcome to my Viego guide, and if you haven't watched my Viego unranked to challenger with a 79% win rate, I would highly recommend you watch it. If you combine the unranked to challenger with the Viego guide, you'll be insane in Viego. I have been challenger for 13 years and I'm sure that this guide will help you a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy. Viego tips and tricks. So right here, I'm going to show you something, which is ult cancellation. So Viego, one of the biggest nice thing about Viego is that his ult is unstoppable. So pay attention to this example here, okay? I'm basically going to go on Azir, and I know Azir's ultimate. So knowing his ultimate, I'm going to press ult after the CC is over. So by knowing he's going to press ultimate, I basically don't get CC'd, and then I kill the enemy team. And I'll show you another example. So in this example right here, okay, I am playing Viego and I'm going on to the Jace here. And I know Rakan's gonna ult me here, or W. So because he W'd me, I essentially just cancel W with my ultimate. And especially if you play against CC champions, you should look to use your ult to deny their CC and kill them. W tricks. So in this example here, I'm going to show you like how to use Viego W to make picks. So right now, the enemy team has no vision on the Baron, and they might maybe think we're on the Baron. So if you press W and then E and wait a little bit, you're invisible. So pay attention to what I'm going to do and how I'm winning this game here. I'm walking on them right now, stunning the grass. And because I actually stunned him there and he didn't expect it, we basically win a team fight right here. And as a jungler, this is super important to do, and I'll show you another example. So in this example right here, I'm doing the exact same thing. Right now, I see that Syndra is gonna come and siege probably. I see his Banshees, so as I know if he's gonna walk straight, I'm pressing W, and as he's gonna come, I smite his Banshees away, so I land my stun. And basically because I used the W trick here, and he didn't expect it, I basically kill him, get reset, and win the skirmish here. So here I'll show you guys another example of the W trick. I am doing the exact same thing. I'm pressing W, E because I'm around the corner, and right now he doesn't see me. So you can see Elise here wants to cocoon me, but he doesn't see me. So now because he doesn't see me, I stun him, he cocoons me, I flash over it, and now I basically killed the opponent. So this W trick actually is like so useful if you use it at the right times, and it can legit win you games. How to actually use your W. So when I say W, I mean like the normal W. Every single time you use your W, you want to hold it. Why is that? Right now when I use my W, okay, basically enemy team has two options usually. Either they walk straight or they zigzag. This is usually the options. So either he's gonna like walk like this, to the right, to the left, to try to dodge, or he's gonna walk straight. So look what I'm gonna do, okay? Currently I'm holding my W, seeing if he's gonna go straight or zigzag. So currently I'm looking what he's gonna do. And basically he decided to, instead of walk this way, he decided to walk backwards and then forward, right? So right now, I'm not even moving my mouse. So I hit my W here. So what's the common pattern that people have? It is that usually if they walk to the bottom, right now, after this, they're not gonna keep walking like this usually. Most of the times, they actually walk like this and then walk back. So I'm literally keeping my mouse in the same direction, not moving it, and he's walking back into it. So this actually trick is very useful because people will often int and you can kill them like this. It's like a pattern in the end. And now I'll show you another example. So right now I am ganking ball in here in this example, and as you can see I'm using my E and I'm trying to get as close as possible, and now I'm using my W. And here, okay, I literally flashed on top of him because I know he has flash. Almost every single player, if I'm literally on top of him, it's humanly impossible to react unless you're Korean. So what do I do here? I hold my W, see how he's gonna flash, and the moment he flashes, I follow my W on top of him. And as you can see though, he made exact same movement. He walked a bit backwards and then he walked forward. So look right now at the misfortune, okay? He's walking a bit to the right here, and then he's walking to the left essentially. And it's the exact same pattern, to the right, to the left. But if you understand how to hold Viego W and you land it, and especially if you're doing a gank, that is super good because you will get more kills this way. So now I'll show you guys an example of like how Viego passive works. Because every single time you get a kill, Viego passive is based off alt attack. So every single time you use your alt attack, you actually cannot pick up the passive. So that's why here, right here, I alt attack first, then I Q. By me alt attacking first, then Qing, I can actually pick him up instantly. If I would have pressed my Q, then alt attack, right? I actually wouldn't pick him instantly. And another thing, if let's say you pick up a ranged champion, you can pick up a champion from far away based off their auto attack range. So this is something to know about how the passive works. And sometimes it's just good to let your teammates even last hit the enemy team, because then you can instantly pick it up, especially if you're low HP. Viego builds. So people in general overcomplicate Viego a little bit, and I would say that usually it's pretty simple. If you are playing against champions where you can get reset and you have frontline, you can basically go Kraken, Titanic. So let's say you have a champion like Syndra, a champion like Nautilus, or even Lissandra, right? Just champions that can set you up, land a CC, and you can go for one shot. I would say Kraken into Titanic is good, because the moment you get the one shot, you're basically, you know, very OP. So usually I would recommend Kraken, Titanic into these items if you want to basically play against squishy champions and you can just one-shot people. As for the 5th item, okay, what would I usually go here? That depends. If enemy team, let's say for some reason has a lot of crit, I would go Randuins. If let's say for some reason enemy team has decent amount of tanks and I want to have a bit more damage, I would even go Lord Dominic's. So it's very situational depending on what you're playing against, so I can't give the answer to that. So as for the second one, when do you go Triforce Collector? If you have a ranged support and enemy team is squishy. Especially Collector is super good if the enemy team is squishy, because having Trinity Collector, it's pretty easy to get a reset, and by having Trinity Force, if you have a ranged support, you're technically a frontline. So by having Trinity Force, this allows you to like walk up more and create more space. That's why I really like this item build, especially if I have champions like Nami, Karma, just any ranged support, right? After that, I would go Immoral Shield Bow, which allows you to be a bit more tanky too. And then usually Lord Dominic's. As for the 5th item, I would usually recommend IE. If you can get IE, which is like basically 4 crit items, you're going to be omega OP. But of course, when it's late game, it's pretty difficult to get this, but I would still say that this is the best item you can get. Otherwise, if enemy team is full squishy, instead of Lord Dominic's, you could actually just go IE. And then you can always go Last Whisper after, if enemy team is not stacking armor. And that's it for the build. It's nothing too crazy. Runes. So basically these are the Viego runes that I like to run because, well, simply said, Coup de Grace is pretty good for executing the enemy team and Alacrity for attack speed. On the inspiration tree, I really like Boots with Cosmic Insight, because by having Cosmic Insight, your flash lower cooldown, so if you have this rune and enemy team doesn't, if his flash is down, your flash should be up. That's why I like these runes. It's the classic Viego runes, nothing too crazy. This is my Viego matchup tier list. So just to elaborate why I have this tier list here is because it's very important that you understand what is good against Viego and what is bad against Viego, or what's like even. So I personally do not like to play against Zyra, because this champion, he can just kite you if you go in, perma-kite, perma-poke, and this champ has super good tempo and pretty good scaling, so I do not like to play against Zyra. And as for all the other champs as well, right, it's just that it's impossible to beat Udyr 1v1, impossible to beat Warg 1v1, so I don't like to play against those champions, but I do think that as a champion-wise, Viego is a better champ than Warwick, but it's still like a very bad matchup, okay? And as for Wukong, it's a very bad matchup as well, because Wukong in general out-teamfights you and out-skirmishes you. It in general is a much better champion. The only advantage that Viego has is that you out-tempo him, so you can be faster on plays than him basically, and have better ganks. And as for Karthus Elise, why do I not like these matchups? Because Karthus can go exhaust and it's unplayable. And it's BG. As for Elise, I mean, I play a lot of Elise myself. I think that Elise can beat up Viego level 2, level 3, and pretty much at all stages of the game, unless he gets mercs and he's playing against, let's say, double AP or something. But otherwise, I would say Elise is able to like have pretty good kill threat on Viego. So regarding the not optimal matchups, all of these champs are just basically, well, I would say that these champs are pretty decent against Viego, but it's not like hard winning, right? I would say that it's just not optimal. And as for all of these other matchups, it's just, well, it's just good matchups slash even. I would say that Viego in general is very good against champions that are kind of running into you, and if you can get a reset. And of course, the champs that are running into you that don't actually beat you 1v1 that hard, right? So yeah, that kind of like explains my matchups tier list on Viego. And you could use this matchup sheet as well to counter Viego, or just know what's like hard and what's easy. Hello guys, welcome to the POV recording of Viego, and I'll be basically explaining my thought process in this game on just what you have to do to 1v9, and I'm telling you that if you watch this, you'll understand Viego so much better. I'll be showing you in an actual game how to 1v9, how I play mechanically, and what my decision making is. If you apply these things in your game, you're omega chilling, okay? So, first things first, okay? Let's look a bit at this draft. When I look at this draft as Viego, what do I see? Essentially as Viego, you have to think about the following, okay? I mean, okay, it's really potato quality, but you want to think about the following, which is these things, okay? You want to think about which lanes are volatile, what enemy John wants to do, and what do I want to do. Why is this important? Because if a lane is volatile, okay? Let's say, look at this draft. Top lane's kind of both has teleport, it's melee against melee, but it isn't that volatile. Tank against the bruiser. Mid lane, Sylas against Syndra. This is volatile, because Sylas, he has to jump in to trade. Otherwise, he's gonna lose lane. Bot lane, a bit volatile too, because it's range against ranged. So, knowing this information, what do I plan to do? So, I basically plan to path into bot side, and basically look to play mid bot, okay? And as I'm pathing towards the bot side here, okay? Even though I'm going towards the bot side, I'm still thinking, okay, if top lane is fighting, I will still go for a gank. Because as Viego, you should always keep your options open. It's not like because you want to play mid bot, you never gank top lane. If top lane is an omega shit show, I'll still go top lane, okay? So let's keep on watching and see what I do. So as I'm farming towards the bot side, this is something you have to practice. When you walk from camp to camp, look at lanes. So right now I'm looking bot lane. Looking bot lane again, because I'm pathing towards the bot side, right? However, I want you to pay attention to this health bar right here. This is something Canyon does a lot. He looks at the health bar above minimap and see people trade. So right now, I basically see like my sign losing a lot of HP, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? So he's now half HP, and he's taking heavy trades. So right now what I'm seeing is that Set's wave is kind of bad. So the information that I see is that a new wave is coming here, and the wave will be at some point here. So knowing this information, and having looked top lane, I haven't seen him put down a ward, and very often, if there's a wave like this, they don't randomly go for a ward here, because they don't want to lose the CS. So knowing this information, I'm now sprinting towards top lane. And while I'm going towards top lane, okay, you see I'm not pinging on the way. I know he has no wards, so I do know that technically he doesn't see me here. So I'm taking my time, making sure I can cut off his escape path, and go for him. So right now I'm seeing how he moves, and he's very stuck. So you can see here, I basically walk like this, and once I realize he's kind of stuck, I change my direction, okay? So now I'm going on him, I just basically W, auto, kill him. Boom. What's going through my mind right now? Of course, every single time you get a play, the enemy team has one turn to do something. So what's he gonna do? I have no idea, but he has 3 options. Gank mid, gank bot, invade. He has nothing else to do, okay? So knowing this information, I'm now pinging mid lane, bot lane, hey, please don't die. Because if I got a lead, and my laners don't die right now, and I'm basically defending my bot side here, this is really good. So my mindset now is, okay, I just got a kill. As long as enemy jungler doesn't get a kill within the next minute, that is really big. So I'm even repeat ganking here, making sure my laners don't die. Because as long as they don't die, and I get the full clear here, that is important. And if you wonder here why I'm not going to blue buff, is because I want to low-key maybe hover mid lane to defend him, because I think he might die. So I'm being Mr. Nice Guy here. But you can see here, I literally pinged 4 or 5 times mid lane to remind him, hey, you're the only lane that can die. Because I don't see my top lane dying, I don't see my bot lane dying, it's only mid lane. So as long as he doesn't die, we're Gucci. So right as Viego, I'm skipping my blue buff. Why is this? Because currently, I want you to think from Viego perspective, okay? Think from Viego perspective. You think he wants her to walk up? Probably not, right? He probably wants to jump in. Knowing this information and knowing what Viego's thinking, I'm now going mid lane, knowing he wants to jump in. That's why I'm skipping my blue buff, because I know my Syndra can be used as a bait to kill him here. So knowing that information, I'm now standing around. And now, basically, because he's trying to kill my Syndra, and he's stunning him, I just channel my W, change CC, and kill him. So one small thing I want to highlight is that pay attention to my, when I W Q alt attack, I will basically instantly look to move to the left as my alt attack. So now I alt attacked, I instantly click. That way, my spacing is good basically. And if he tries to run away, I can get to him. So some Viego players like to alt attack and stand still a bit, but you should almost always instantly move. So okay, this is just fundamentals, okay? This is not Viego related. But basically after a kill in general, you kind of want to think what you want to play for. So what's going through my mind right now? So what's going through my mind right now is that it's 420 soon. What does 420 mean? It means blaze it, kind of, right? I mean, okay, not really, but you get my point. Anyway, my topside camps are spawning. Every single time you get a kill, I'm trying to identify what I want to play for next. It's mid and bot. This means I want to clear top to bot. And that's why I'm basing here. And I'm going into topside. Because that way, if there's any bot lane fight, I can clear my topside camps, ignore my bot side camps, kill bot lane instantly, and then go back to farming if needed. If there's no fight, I'll full clear. But this way, by having these good base timers, I'm allowing myself to be everywhere at the right place at the right time, okay? So, I've made already a plan. I want to play bot side. And I'm looking top lane. So, I'm looking for top lane here because I think he didn't ward. I'm not 100% sure. But now I see him going for ward. And now, because he's going for ward, I'm not wasting time. And I'm farming. So, the only thing I can do right now, because I know he has a ward, is nothing. It's basically just drone track and think what enemy drone can do. Because the enemy drone sees the same things I do, which is that top lane is super low here, right? So I am just pinging my laner to play safe here and to basically just, not die. So as long as he doesn't die and I get the full clear, I get tempo in the bot side and that's good. So I'm just farming here and I'm looking mid lane because it seems very volatile. So I just hovered around seeing if it could help, but I couldn't do too much. So I just keep on farming here. So you can see my bot lane here is like, help me please. But I call this a losing lane state, okay? So when I say losing lane state, what do I mean? This I call a losing lane state. This is how you can 1v9 as Viego or any other jungler, okay? When a lane is losing like this, you usually, cover dives and wait for their bases. I am not initiating a gank here, even though I have nothing to do. I'm just literally thinking about this. So, of course, if enemy jungle is around, I will definitely not do anything. If enemy jungle is not around, and I think I can kill them, I'll go for it. But in this situation, I am just farming. You can see here, I'm pinging them back, base, don't die, I'm farming. And you can see here, top lane is pinging to attack top lane, but I'm like, I'm not gonna go there. Because I already made a game plan, which is I wanna play for the Grubbies. So knowing I wanna play for the Grubbies, actually no, I don't wanna play for Grubbies, it's wrong. Because my top lane is getting fisted. I guess I'm playing for the Grubbies, because both top lanes low, and I think I'm decently strong. But I thought that my sign was somewhat lower and set healthier. But in this case, look what I'm doing here, okay? Think from this guy's perspective. You need to understand as Viego which laners are playing aggressive and what they're thinking. It's level 6 against level 5. This guy probably wants to jump in. So I'm just going to hover around here, see if he jumps in. If he does, I'm ready to go on him. In this case, my Sinner misses stun, so I didn't kill him. But you can see here, basically, I understand the enemy's brain, and this allows me to be at the right place at the right time, and having good tempo allows you basically to, fight. So right here, because my top laner died, and I don't have a top laner, and my mid laner basically is going to be on the tower too, I cannot contest the Grubbies. Even though I'm 2-0 and I feel really strong, there's always going to be more opportunities, okay? So I'm just farming. So you see here, basically, well, now same thing. Look at their bot lane. They're going to play aggressive. Because they're going to play aggressive, and I'm giving the grubs, now, even though my lane is losing, I can help them. So you see this ward right here. Because I see a ward there, I loop around, and I'm making sure I gank them. So pay attention to how I gank. I never ever ping on the way, unless I'm about to show. I'm even pinging them back because I want them to live till I get there. Okay, I kind of want you to pause the video right now and look at how I execute this, okay? In my opinion, the best way to learn is to pause, think what you would do, and then look what I would do, okay? So I hope you pause and then look at this. Okay, let's take a look. Right now, I would just Q, Alt Attack, W. Why is that? Because my W is an Alt Attack reset, and unless they're running away, I don't have to use W. So in this case, I can just Q alt W, alt. And here as well, small thing, I dodged the Nami bubble because, think about it, this is their only CC, which is Nami bubble. So as a Viego, you do have to think about the threat assessment, what can kind of CC you. And now after basically, well, I dodged it, I kill him. So let's play it one more time. I just Q, alt attack W. But I dodge as well the bubble. And I'm not picking up the soul here because if I would pick it up, I would not be able to hit the Nami here. But you see here how I'm like hitting him and insta moving. As Viego, you always want to like hit him, insta click right behind him. And that way you're going to have better spacing and you're going to be able to gap close more distance. This is very important. But sadly, we didn't have enough damage, so we couldn't kill him. But that's okay. Okay, so what's my mindset right now? I just got a kill. I lost the groups, but that's okay. I have 900 gold, so right now, would you go to your Drake? Would you go to your Gromp? What would you do here? These are the moments where a lot of people go for the Drake, but I personally am a believer that if you're laners in the base, and your top stack camps are up, instead of doing Drake here, or mega trolling your tempo, it's much better to base, clear top to bot, and wait for the next best opportunity. But then in this case, I saw a little, well, Silas here, and I think I died here. But basically, I was pretty sure I was actually not going to do the Grubbies. I just probably just want to base in River, but I died here. But it's okay. So right now, as I'm dead here, I'm just going to farm. Nothing too crazy. Some of my camps got yoinked, and I'm just farming here, okay? So, as of right now, Drake is up. And I'm telling you that I'm basically losing, okay? So do you see here how I ping my Zillion in his face to group? Before I go river in general, I always try to think, can my laners move or not? Because I want to have the best chance of winning, and I need to ping my laners to move. And this is a game where basically my laners are behind. So you see here, I'm pinging my Zillion in his face to go mid lane, because look at their mid laner. He wants to play aggressive, right? So because my mid and bot is losing, I'm pinging my mid lane to group mid lane. Sorry, ping my support to kill him. And when should you go for a gank? When he goes for last hit. I'm going for a gank when he goes for this minion. Because think about it, if Cinder walks on him right now, it's very sus. But when he goes for a minion, he's very focused on the minion and he doesn't see me. So you see here, that minion right there, boom. That's when I go in. Here I tried to kill him, but I didn't manage to have enough damage. I think my teammates just did not have enough damage to clean him up, which is okay. But basically that's a bit how you want to gank, right? When he goes for last hit, that's the perfect time to go for a gank. And I mean, till then, I'm just kind of farming here, okay? So these mistakes are kind of realistic, because these are the mistakes you could make. But fundamentally wise, I'll show you, like, even if you make these mistakes, you will be chilling as long as you understand proper base timers and knowing when you should fight and when you shouldn't fight. So right now, this fight here is a bit scuffed for the following reason. And I knew this fight was bad. Let's go all the way back here. Right now, after I make this play, okay, I'm thinking, okay, how much gold do I need from item power spike? Because usually, if you're like very close to your Trinity Force or any other item, you kind of want to think, how much gold do I need, okay? And if you're not as strong, you really want to farm up, get your item power spike, and not look for any play. So I'm opening the shop right now, and I need like 100 gold. Knowing this in my mind, that I'm kind of weak without my item, I already know I don't really want to fight unless I'm sure I'm going to win. So right now, my bot is still losing, and all I'm doing is just making sure that they can just farm. So right now when I see this fight, this guy in the tower, this guy getting jumped on, do I want to fight? Not really. Because I know I need 30 gold for my Trinity Force. Like, always try to play your spikes, unless your laners are winning, but we're not. But you can see here, my mindset is already very defensive. And here I was thinking maybe I could kill him, but I think it's difficult. So I'm just out of here. I actually thought my Sinner was maybe gonna come around, but he didn't. But yeah, here you can see I'm trying to base. Got my he said his Sinner to go in. But yeah, basically, right now I got my Trinity Force, and we're kinda losing game state right now. So my game plan at the moment is just to play into bot side, and I'll show you the game state, okay? Because this is the moment where a lot of people struggle, and you're behind and basically you don't know what to do, right? Because your laners are losing. So I'll basically show you what to do. Like, I'm pressing tab right now. So mid's losing and bot's losing and top lane is doing fine, okay? They're not losing that hard yet, but it's gonna be worse. It's basically like a 1-6 bot lane at the moment, which is not so good, okay? But it's a moment where you have to think about the following, okay? What do I want to play for? In this situation, I would say that we're losing, so anything they're playing for, you're not really playing for. So I would recommend you now to actually trade, and if they go for Drake, you basically want to go for the groupies, okay? And this guy's playing a bit aggressive, so I kill him here. Just a small thing on how I execute this. I basically alt attack, Q, alt attack, and pay attention to my W right now, okay? Like, in general, your W is an alt attack reset. Just make sure you alt attack, W, alt attack. So these, I alt attack here, I Q, alt attack, resets my W, alt attack again. It's very important to buffer. Okay, so now of course I am just going to be pathing towards the bot side. And I am now just thinking about, okay, I'm really low, enemy jungle can do one play, and I'm really weak. So here you can see, because I'm losing and I don't know where enemy jungle is, I'm fine giving the groups to get tempo and to play into bot side. So right now you can see here that I am basically just like playing into bot side and giving the grubbies. Because especially if you're losing, it's very important to get man advantage and try to get numbers. So I'm just farming, nothing too crazy. And as I'm pathing towards the bot side, I am making sure that I still think what enemy jungle could do. But right now I would say that he could only go top lane. And I'm just sitting behind it on bot lane, right? I know he's probably on the groups. So now because he's on the groups and their bot lane's winning, they probably want to play aggressive. Knowing this information, they want to play aggressive. I'm just sitting in lane and I'm lane ganking. So here, okay, why am I pinging them back? Because if my laners stand here, this guy will walk up and this guy will walk up. Then they come into my range. That's why I'm pinging them back, because technically they should not see this, right? So here I'm just sitting and waiting. And here what happens is that I just missed my W. Or he flashed it. But basically you can see here that I tried to kill them. I just got a flash and that's it. I got 2 flashes actually. But 2 flashes if you're behind is not too bad. And now of course after I get 2 flashes and I'm this low, I really want to back off. I'm too weak. Here I should have pinged back. But anyway, you can see here I'm like just out of here because I cannot fight here, right? And you can see here I really prioritize basing because my tempo is everything. Because technically here my misfortune never had to die, he could have just run away. But you can see here I really prioritize tempo and I make sure that when I get a good base right now, at least I'm pretty strong and healthy to make plays. So if enemy trolls, I'll be here. So now you can see this trade, okay? So look at this trade, okay? So basically when I go for this trade here, especially against Jax, I just like W him, alt attack him, and I bounce. Because usually what's going to happen is that he's now going to click back on me, and I'm basically dragging him in. The moment he loses vision, he's probably going to click away. And when he clicks away, I can go back to chasing. But this basically gives me a positive trade. And, you know, just chunking sometimes is very good. And now I'm just taking the crap. And of course, once again, I'm just going on him, right? So you can see here, I just alt attack, W, alt attack. Like just using your W to reset alt attack is super important. And okay, so what is the game plan right now? I instantly base here because I know that I want to play bot side. Even though they're 1-8, I'll do the thing like this, okay? It's like basically, I would say that how this works is that if let's say that I am basing going top to bot, okay? And, wait, hold up. Okay, let's say I'm going top to bot, okay? If both junglers here are just pathing towards the bot side, and basically, you know, enemy jungle, especially if I'm behind, okay? if enemy jungle's behind in tempo and I'm a lot faster than him, if we're losing, if they're pushing, I can always punish them. So that's why in this situation here that I'm showing you, I'm basically basing instantly here. While Jax is dead, I'm instantly going top the bot. So even though my bot lane is 1-8 right now, if I have a good base timer, clear my top side as soon as possible, rush towards bot side, and if their bot lane plays aggressive, I can kill them. So that's why I instantly base here, clear top the bot, and farm up. So here I'm just going to farm, go into the bot side, and as you can see, while I'm farming towards bot side, I'm just making sure I have decent jungle tracking. And hopefully my laners are going to survive till then. Yeah, I'm trying to take every single camp that I can take, and of course, if they go too aggro, I can kill them. But right now, this is a good example of like, if they play aggressive, and enemy jungle is not there, I can either clear the wards, or punish them. But now, because I think they have wards, and it's not really gankable, I just keep on farming here. Like, I'm not forcing placement behind, and this is something you have to understand as Viego. There's always more opportunities. And you can even see here, instead of doing anything, I'll just base. I'm just pressing B, buying even like just little components. And yeah, they should be able to play safe, you know? And now after I get my little components, I'm sprinting bot side. Because they might try to dive my bot lane. Like here, one thing I didn't think about is Silas being here. He came from behind. And let's see what happens. So, I just want you to look at how I play this first. And then I'll just slow it down. And explain my thought process. Okay, I'll go back here. So I just want you to look at skirmish, okay? So basically, right now when I see Silas, I always want to Q alt attack. Then, basically, I just want to look to W, alt attack. And depending on like, if he has dashes, or if I want to see how he moves, I would hold my W to see how he walks, right? So right now, alt attack, I W. I could maybe Q alt attack. And now basically, most people here would use their dash. So usually if you use the dash, let's say here, I can instantly use my W here. But here, he kind of like outplayed me with his rocket belt. Because now I try to use it, but he had pro belt, you know? But basically if he would hit it there, it's pretty good. So one thing with my ultimate as well is I can execute. So the lower they are, the better. So that's why I'll always use my ult when they're a bit low. And now I pick it up. So after I pick the soul up, okay? In general, right now after I kill the Corki, I could pick up the Corki, okay? But if I pick up the Corki, it takes 1 second-ish to load and take it. And instead of taking it, if I already have my ultimate still, I don't have to take it. Instead, I can just, you know, keep the soul. That way I can for sure just reach him and kill him. So okay, right now I just got a triple kill. And basically the things that I'm looking at right now is basically, you know, what do I want to play for? Do I need the base? And where's enemy jungle? So these are things I'm thinking about. So I literally open my shop and check how much gold I need for my collector. But right now, since Jax was around the top side, I am taking the Drake here. But I definitely need the base because I just got 3 kills. And if I want to expand my lead, and I want to make sure I have a good chance of winning skirmishes, I need the base. So here, for example, I know since I'm doing Drake, I'm just pinging my top lane here to be careful. Because as long as they don't die, I get a triple kill and I get the Drake. So I ping them 3 times to not fight. Making sure that they just don't fight, and it's completely fine giving the gribbies. So now you see, do I need the base? Yes, I do. I've got my item. But I do think his red buff is up, and that's why I'm going here, to yoink his red buff. But there's no red buff, so I base. So this is the moment where basically you as a jungler have to recognize, okay, I kind of want to play with my bot lane, and the funny thing is, even though my bot lane is 110, right, I'm still playing with them. But I will play with them only if the enemy jungler is like not there. If he's there, I'm definitely just defending. So right here, the enemy team is going for the objective. And I'm just making sure that I'm there and seeing if I can do something. If there's nothing, I just farm. So you can see here, since we couldn't get a playoff in general, you almost always just want to farm if your camps are up and play when your camps are down. So as you can see now, right now my camps are up, so I keep on farming. And I have one mindset right now. Pinging my laners to play safe. And of course, I do want to play for my Syndra, so I'm clearing towards bot side. Okay, so at the moment in this situation here, I would say that if you're still behind, which you are, because I'm mostly ahead, but my mid and bot are still behind, you have to try to make sure you get numbers. So when I say numbers, right now, if there's a bot lane moves towards mid lane, what's going to happen is that they can push mid, go back into bot side, right? So right now, after you get this wave, I want to go into mid lane, try to get man advantage, clear the vision wards, and look for a fight. So look at what I do here, and look at my pings. I'm pinging them to play safe, because I'm not there. And luckily my Syndra is moving, so that's really nice. And now when Sylas shows bot lane, we have man advantage. And because we have man advantage, now we can maybe look for a fight. So now you can see, because my Syndra is moving, I can fight here. Let's take a look at how I play this. So I'm just gonna go back and play it again. But basically right now, in general, if I'm behind the enemy team, you want to do the following. You just want to Q, alt attack, W, alt attack. That's where you deal with most DPS, and then, you know, you're kind of piss chilling. That's what I'm doing right now. Q, alt attack, W, alt attack. Dodging the bubble, going back in. And just executing him. Okay, so I would say that I'm getting slowly but surely fed, and essentially I'm coming back from the game because I'm using numbers. And you can see here, I'm completely fine giving the bot tower. In return, I get mid tower here. So I'm even pinging my misfortune, hey, go push that shit. And here, because those two champs are pretty OP, I wouldn't want to fight because my Syndra has no ult and my Zilean has no ult. Of course, if we're strong enough, I would fight for this, but we're not strong enough. So I'd rather just not fight, you know? So this is a moment where basically I have one job. My bot lane is still 110, and my mid lane is doing fine-ish right now. And my top lane is doing good, okay? So basically at the moment, I think about the following. And this is kind of how you want to treat League of Legends, okay? Which is, okay, you know, what do I play for? Atakan? And then which lane do I want to use? So let's look at it, okay? So right now, it's all about numbers. In early mid game, it's all about numbers. You see how my Syndra is going bot lane right now? Right now when it goes bot lane here, I don't really want to fight unless I have numbers. I see Jax mid set up, so in this situation I can fight. If Jax wasn't showing here, and I'm not winning with my misfortune, I wouldn't want to fight this. But because my enemy Jax is showing, I'm fighting this. I always like to just break down my thought process on skirmishing, but here's the same thing. Here, I just Q, or alt attack, I guess, because my Q is cooldown. Now I alt attack, W alt attack. And it's dead. Make sure you get alt attack reset. Okay. So right now, okay, look. Technically right now, there are 3 men. And my sign is super low. So this is a fight I would say that's like not good. Because they're +1. Maybe if I played this situation a bit better, I would have killed him. But sadly, I didn't get reset. Even Corki came. It's a 4v3, essentially. So I just want you to look at how it plays mechanically. This is just fundamentally wrong because there were 4 men and I'm 2 men. But here basically you can see I'm holding my W because right now I don't know if it's gonna walk left or right, and if you buffer it fully it's like 1.25 seconds. So the longer you buffer it, the more CC it is. So right now I'm looking how he moves, and now probably after he moves here, usually people alt attack if he wants to hit this guy, right? So now I'm going to use my W here because I expect him to alt attack here. And, well, he didn't alt attack and he kept on walking. So now I see him alt attack. Now I use it. So basically, you can see I'm very patient with my W, making sure I land it. But maybe I should have used it even earlier to DPS faster because I'm insecure, but you get the idea, right? But okay. Right now we have died here. We lost top tower. And my bot lane is still getting cooked. So I'm basically having to carry a bot lane that's like not doing too well, but it's possible by making sure I play with numbers. So right now the Ottocon's up, all my camps are up, and I'm going towards the top side here, because if, you know, I go bot side and I rush Ottocon, I would lose it. But essentially right now, this game is looking pretty hard, but as long as you can recognize where to get numbers, you're kind of chilling. So I'm just farming here, and in general, okay, as a jungler, if your camps are up, you almost always want to take your camps and ping your laners to play safe. That's what you want to be doing. Okay. So bot lane's fighting here. I'm moving, seeing what I can do. And we're collapsing on them. Misfortune coming, Zillion coming. But you can see here, once again, I'm holding my W and seeing how he walks. If he keeps walking in a straight line, I'll use it. Like, let's say this Nami had flash, okay, for whatever reason. Then I'll be able to, like, you know, flash after him. But right now, let's say I don't know if he's flash or not. I can now see what he has, you know. And clearly, most people here would flash if they flash. But clearly, he doesn't have flash, so I just use my W. But you see how often I'm holding my W? I really want to land it, because landing your W is very key, especially if they're running away. Okay, so at the moment, what's my thought process right now? So, the Drake's up, so I'm definitely taking Drake here. This isn't anything too crazy. So, I explained a bit of fundamentals, but I especially want to look at like just skirmishes right now. Because in the end... Okay, look at this fight, okay? Basically, I tried to kill the Kork, but I couldn't. So you see here how I'm using my W, same thing. I'm kind of seeing how he's gonna walk. Is he gonna walk in a straight line? Is he gonna walk zigzag? How is he gonna walk? It seems like to me, he's walking in a straight line, so I'm using it in a straight line as well. But here especially, okay? If let's say you're chasing someone, which we kind of are, right? If he's being chased and it's like a 4v1, it's completely fine to hold your W. Because now my teammates, okay, can gap close and kill him. And especially if he does a zigzag and my laners are walking straight, this is really good. So by me holding my W, I apply additional pressure and it's even better, you know? But right now it's clearly he's walking straight line, so I just use it. Alright, so this is one skirmish. So now let's continue playing and just see like future skirmishes. So, okay, in this skirmish right here, let's pay attention, because... So here, it's a 44, but look at my team comp. I basically have Misfortune, Syndra, Zillion. If I get to this HP, and I kill, let's say, the Syndra, or like, sorry, the Sylas, and he ults himself, or let's say, even if he didn't have ultimate, in general, as Viego, you don't want to pick someone up if you're this HP. Because even if you pick someone up, you're gonna get one shot. So in this situation here, I'm making sure that I don't go in. I'm getting the fuck out. And I'm going to play slow here. So here I'm going to try to poke a bit. But I don't want to be the first one to go in, because, you know, that's not how I play Viego. Ideally, you want to get reset, being above 50% HP if possible. And then just make a montage. So right now, instead of fighting there, okay, I decide to like play on my terms. So when I say play on my terms, I'm basically taking my camps and trying to get man advantage. So right now, I'm going towards the bot lane because I see him playing aggressive. And especially with Viego, with the E, the mobility it gives you, it's so easy to make picks. But here, of course, I did forget about the Ottocon, so I think it's gone. So we just push mid and bot. But anyway. So right now, let's see. I'm chasing Nami. Nothing too crazy here. I'm pretty much just farming. Okay, so let's look at stop execution. So let's go before I go to top lane and see what I see, okay? So right now, every single time you play Viego, if you want to go for a play on the side lane in mid game, I always look at mid lane. So right now, my laners are catching, right? So they could be +1. However, I do have a ward here, and I didn't see Corki. So because they could be moving towards us here, which maybe sneaky like this, I'm here pinging my laners to play safe. Here I'm still hovering and seeing if I can do something, but keeping in mind, I might be outnumbered here. So I'm kind of seeing what's plopping, you know? And now I'm actually looking at minimap, seeing Jack. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I can fight this. I think I see it. But here as well, I think this guy's trying to E or ult me, so I'm being a bit more careful. But the moment I confirmed they don't have numbers, I send it here. And of course, if I'm not there, I would ping my laners to play safe here, because I just got a free kill on top lane. As long as my laners don't die now, that's super good. That's just in general how mid-game works. So let's look at this fight, okay? There is probably going to be a little fight here. There's a Drake up. They see me walk in. And I'm just seeing what's plopping here. So how do I want to play fights? I never want to go in. I just kind of just want to poke them a bit. So I would like walk maybe a bit. We see here, I'm just WQ attack out. This chunk is good enough. You don't have to all in sometimes. Sometimes just poking them, getting out, you know, seeing out of position. That's good enough. I mean, sadly, we don't have a ward in this bush here, otherwise I would have poked more. But look, this is the ideal situation you want as Viego. If he uses the builds on my Syndra, okay, and I get this kill here, and I'm healthy, I can pick him up, jump on these guys, and Omega 1v9. But same thing here, you could see that I held my W very long, and look. Now I pick up the Nami2. But you can see here, basically, by me not being jumped on, and I can pick up a reset, by being above 50%, I can clean up. And same thing here, you see here, I'm waiting my W, seeing how he walks, and this guy's walking hella straight. So, you see I'm literally moving my mouse. And now I pick up the reset. And because I'm above 50%, I can actually jump on them without being concerned of dying, you know? Now I get reset, and by the way, one thing as well, don't pick up this reset. This can be a bait sometimes. Picking up like a support that's very squishy, instead of picking it up, just keep on running. Very often, that's much better. Because like this is a situation where you don't want to be a Viego. Being super low, having reset, because by the time I press my ult, I'm probably dead already. And now I'm trying to pick it up, of course, but I can't. So now I'm out. But you can see here, by just simply poking enemy teams sometimes, and playing a bit slow is very key. Because you never want to be the one dying first. So here I try to kill the Corki. Got him. And small thing here as well, I always use your ult when they're low. Because your ult is an execute. But one thing I didn't keep in mind here is I think set W. Dealing 1.7k damage, so I got one shot. But let's look a bit how I play this mechanically and how I go on the Corki. So usually I would always say you should Q alt tech, right? But in this situation, because he's not literally walking into me or in range, I use my W to gap close, then alt attack, then Q alt attack. But usually though, if I'm, let's say, actually a bit healthier, no, actually even right now, right? I would say W is better because simply I just need to gap close. And then I just cook him. And of course, this is just spacing, right? This is not Viego related, but I'm playing range champion, he's playing mid champion. I'm trying to get away from him, so he can't attack me. And I'm making sure that once he walks back, I keep hitting him. And the one thing I just underestimated is set W, where I got one shot. But yeah, you can see here, my ball lane 2-14, not a hot, but by just understanding how to play team fights, it helps you so much. So let's go to like more fights. I explained a bit about fundamentals, but now it's just about fighting. Because in the end, this is a fighting champion. If you don't know when or how to fight, you're cooked. So here, obviously, I don't fight here because it's a 3v2. So here, I'm just like scaring him a bit. But that's all. And now my sign is here. Okay. But this is kind of what you want. I just showed you the fight a bit here, but like here you can see it's a 3v2. So I don't want to fight. You can clearly see here I'm like running away. My mindset's like I kinda just want to survive. It's not to fight. Because I know they're +1. In general, if enemy has numbers, don't fight. But you can see here, now if he goes in tower range, I'm willing to stun him. But you can see here, I don't even care about a kill. I mean, he does have Zillion ulti, but you can see here, I'm insta running away. My mindset is focusing on survival. But now, of course, since Sign has a really good ultimate, I can now look for this play here. But I'm very aware of numbers and very aware of like if I want to fight or if I don't want to fight. Based off numbers. And then I kind of just want to base. And yeah, let's look at the next fight. There's like a Silas walking into my jungle, I think. But yeah, you can definitely see that like I'm very aware of like numbers and if I want to go in first or not. Here, I mean, I just, you know, tap him. Nothing too crazy. And then here I see Corki, and this is just gang execution, or like as well a bit of Viego mechanics. So after I get this kill, Viego ult in general can go over walls. So you see this big thick wall here. Usually if you press ult like here, you'll always end up like pretty far, right? And this is like, you know, pretty normal for most champions. And here's what, look, I hold my W, see how he walks. If he walks like this, usually people walk like this. Sorry, like this. So I could literally have a mouse here, and he's gonna walk back into it, usually. But yeah, you can clearly see like a clear pattern if you hold it. And now basically, I just hit him as much as possible. I never want to ult unless he's like around 35%. Because ideally you want to ult, alt tag, pick it up, or it's even better to like ult, insta kill him, and insta pick it up. Because then you can like insta use his abilities. And now basically GG well played. But just to summarize a bit like what makes Viego like good. Like first things first, okay? How to play fights. You have to play numbers. You don't want to go in first. And basically using ult to execute. And as well, sometimes just like being above 50% when picking up soul, ideally. And if you actually play like this, it's much easier to carry Viego. And sometimes as well, right, just poking the enemy team and playing slow. Because Viego in teamfights is very awkward if you don't have front lines. So sometimes I just like to poke the enemy team. And I would say that like these are kind of like the crucial things with Viego. If you do them properly, it's a lot easier to like win skirmishes basically. I hope you enjoyed the guide, and I hope you know how to play Viego a bit. And yeah, thanks for watching. And I truly appreciate you guys just watching my videos. And I hope you guys will smurf on the Viego. Have a nice little day, and you can leave a subscribe, or comment if you like. But have a good one. Peace.